All right. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of our series where we take a closer look at the writing of Ajmal over at theborderofmind.com.
That's right.
Yeah, and he always has these really interesting pieces that really make you think, and today's no exception.
No, not at all.
We're going to be looking at his blog post called Savoring the Flow of Moments.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, it's a really fascinating concept, I think. It really kind of gets you thinking about how we experience time.
Oh, absolutely.
And really how we live our lives. So,
exactly.
Yeah, so let's jump right in.
Yeah.
One of the first things that Ajmal brings up in this piece is this idea that, we all have these moments where it seems like time just stands still.
Right.
And, it's kind of a common experience. You've probably felt it before, right? Like you're just completely absorbed in something.
Yeah.
Maybe you're playing music or you're having a really deep conversation with someone,
mm-hmm.
and everything else just kind of fades away.
Yeah.
And you're just totally present in that moment.
Yeah, totally.
And what Ajmal is saying is that these moments, they're not just random.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just these flukes that happen every once in a while.
Right.
He's actually suggesting that these moments are invitations.
Interesting.
They're invitations to experience life differently,
mm-hmm.
to live in a way that's more present, more mindful.
Yeah, I like how he puts it as an invitation.
Yeah.
It's not something we have to force. It's something that's being offered to us. We just have to be open to it and recognize it when it arises.
And he uses this really interesting analogy in the piece. He talks about life being like a river.
Yeah.
And it's constantly flowing.
Always moving.
Always changing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that, a lot of us, we tend to get caught up in mentally hopping from one rock to the next.
Mm-hmm.
We're so focused on getting to the next thing.
Mm.
Checking things off our to-do list, achieving our goals.
Yeah, we're so focused on the destination,
right,
that we forget to enjoy the journey.
Exactly.
The actual experience of being in the river.
Yeah, and I think that's such a powerful analogy because it really gets at this idea that it's not just about achieving things.
Yeah.
It's about the process.
It's about being present.
The journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's about being open to those moments of flow.
Exactly.
Where we can just let go
mm-hmm.
and be carried by the current.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we can apply to all aspects of our lives, not just the big important things,
right.
but even the small everyday moments.
Right. He's not saying that we need to climb Mount Everest or anything like that to have these moments.
No, not at all.
He's talking about things like, watching a sunset.
Yeah.
Or listening to your favorite song.
Or having a cup of coffee in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Just taking the time to really appreciate the simple things.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's so easy to forget.
Yeah.
In our busy lives.
Yeah, we get so caught up in the hustle and bustle.
Right.
That we forget to just slow down and savor the moment.
Yeah, and one of the things that Ajmal talks about in the piece is how our minds can actually get in the way of experiencing these moments.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He talks about how we have this constant chatter in our heads.
Right, all that mental noise.
Yeah.
All the worries, the to-do list, the plans.
Yeah, and it's like this constant distraction.
Yeah, it's like having a radio playing in the background all the time.
Right, exactly. And he actually calls it internal noise.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and he says that this internal noise can prevent us from fully experiencing the richness of each moment.
Absolutely.
It's like we're watching a movie, but we're also trying to read a book at the same time.
Right.
We're not really giving our full attention to either one.
Yeah, we're not fully immersed in either experience.
Right.
We're kind of half-assing both of them.
Yeah, exactly. And so Ajmal suggests that one of the keys to experiencing these moments of flow more frequently is to learn how to quiet that internal noise.
To turn down the volume on that radio.
Right, yeah, and he talks about a few different ways to do that.
Yeah.
One of them is through the practice of mindfulness.
Yeah, mindfulness is a great tool for that.
Yeah, and for those of you who are familiar with mindfulness, it's basically the practice of intentionally focusing on the present moment.
Right.
Without judgment.
Yeah, it's about noticing your thoughts and feelings without getting carried away by them.
Right.
It's about observing them.
Yeah.
Like you're watching clouds pass by in the sky.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
They come, they go.
Right.
But you don't have to get attached to them.
Yeah, and so by practicing mindfulness, we can start to create some space between ourselves and our thoughts.
Yeah.
And that can allow us to be more present.
Exactly.
To really experience the moment.
And Ajmal also talks about the importance of rediscovering a sense of wonder.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He says that as we get older, we tend to lose that childlike sense of awe and curiosity.
Right.
We've seen it all before.
Yeah.
We know how things work, and so we stop paying attention.
Right.
We take things for granted.
Right, we become jaded.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Ajmal suggests that we need to actively cultivate that sense of wonder.
Right.
To look at things with fresh eyes as if we were seeing them for the first time.
Like a child.
Like a child, exactly.
Yeah.
And he says that if we can do that, we can start to see the beauty and the complexity in even the most ordinary things.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah, it's a really powerful idea.
Yeah, it's like we're all surrounded by these little miracles, but we've become so used to them that we don't even notice them anymore.
Right.
And so Ajmal is really encouraging us to slow down, to pay attention, and to rediscover that sense of wonder.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we could all benefit from.
I agree.
Yeah. So we've covered a lot of ground here today.
Yeah, we have.
And I think this is a really, really important topic. And I hope that this conversation has given you some things to think about.
Yeah, me too.
And if you're interested in learning more about Ajmal's work, I highly recommend that you head over to his website, theborderopenmind.com.
Yeah, it's a great resource.
Yeah, he's got a lot of really interesting articles and even some art and visuals on there. And so, yeah, I definitely encourage you to check it out.
Yeah.
And, as we wrap up here today, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
And that is, what is one small thing that you can do today to be more present?
Yeah.
To notice the wonder that's all around you?
Good question.
Yeah. So think about that.
Yeah.
And maybe even try to put it into practice.
Yeah.
And we'll be back soon with another deep dive into the world of ideas.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Thank everyone.
Yeah, bang.
Bye.